Greater area in Houston was impacted pretty significantly by the hurricane. Our refinery at Baytown and our chemical plant here had some significant impacts, lots of flooding. The team has been working 24 hours, 7 days a week since that storm passed through here, putting a lot of priority on getting our equipment back up and running and doing it safely, making sure that the people and the plant remain safe.
It's hard to imagine being able to get things back up and running at this point. What has your team undertaken? What's been involved in terms of the damage that's been done, and what are the efforts to try and get things running?
Well, I've spent a good part of the day today going around to the different units, talking to our different employees. And I'll tell you, the stories are humbling. We've had people spending hours prior to the storms coming in preparing for the storm, and then working overnight mitigating the impacts as the storm was passing through, and then all the effort on the recovery. People spending the night while their homes were being flooded, they were in our refinery working to keep critical processes up and running so that when the storm passed, we could start the recovery pretty quickly. And that's happening here in Baytown. We're making very good progress, starting to flow barrels, now getting products to customers out there. Our first priority is making sure that our people and their families and the community is safe. Second priority is getting our units up and running and resupplying the demand out there for all of our customers.
I know you have about 7,000 employees in the refinery. What's the situation in terms of how many of them were affected?
Well, we've set up a hotline. We've had impacts here in Houston and also the Beaumont area. We've set up a hotline and put in some programs to support our employees. We've had about 1,000 employees call in, and about 800 of them have indicated some type of damage and need for assistance.
Darren, the refinery is the second largest in the United States, and I understand that there is the capacity for 560,000 barrels a day to come through that plant. How long do you think before you get back to that sort of a peak level?
Yeah, our plant's about 585,000 barrels a day of crude coming through, and we're making progress on that. It's very difficult to predict exactly when all of those units will be back up and we'll be back on our full load, but we're making good progress. We're hoping to get some units started up later this week, and then it'll be one unit after the other, and we'll just keep building on that, building momentum and production. As
you're cleaning up the aftermath of one storm, we have another hurricane that is barreling down on the United States, Irma. We're not entirely sure which direction it's headed, but been watching the governor of Florida, who's just been making comments talking about how they are starting evacuations and how fuel availability is a top priority as Irma comes onto the scene. What are you doing for ExxonMobil to try and prepare for the eventuality with that?
Well, we had a team set up that was working on the response to Hurricane Harvey. When Irma started to form, we saw that moving in. That team actually formed a subgroup that started working on making sure that our supply operations going into Florida are robust. So we've been working that now for several days. And the strategy right now is to make sure that all our distribution system is as full as it can be, and that we're getting fuel distributed to the points as much as we can, so that if that hurricane hits, we've got inventories that are high enough to aid in the recovery once the storm passes through.
In terms of any potential operations that might be in the way, either in the Deepwater Gulf or other areas, is that something that you still have time before you really have to make final decisions on these?
Well, the Hurricane Harvey had a bigger impact on our Gulf of Mexico operations. We brought all those down safely, and we're in the process of starting those production platforms back up again. Some are online, some are going through their integrity checks. So that's all moving very well. This Irma hasn't impacted any of our offshore production.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.